Welcome to the garage, guys. This is Autotech. Okay, so today I have a simple how-to for you to fix a major design flaw with the FJ-09. Now, you got this nice looking front tire. Cool. You got this nice looking radiator. Man, this thing's going to get some great airflow. Do you see a problem here? The tire right at the radiator, and then there's nothing to protect that radiator. Yeah, that's a little bit of a problem. A simple and cheap solution is an Evotech Radiator Guard. I got this one off their website. It was cheapest because they're just over in Vancouver or whatever in Canada. So shipping was cheap and getting it here was cheap. So today we're going to toss this on so that we can protect that radiator. So step one is you got to remove these outer fairings. Not too hard to do. Just a 4mm Allen head. Oh shit. And then there's also one over here as well. So that other screw went right in there. Now, don't just pull out on this thing. You have to pull it down to unhook it, which is proven to be a two-handed job. So I will check back in with you. Okay, pop the top out and then pop it down. There we go. And then you undo that connector. Okay, same deal on this side. Come over here, take out these 3 screws that hold that outside fairing on. And again, pop out and unhook and then undo that connector. Remove this one with a Phillips and this one with a 4mm Allen key. So same thing on this side, remove this 4mm and then remove this one with an Allen. And as you can see, that doesn't take too much, and then that just pops right out of there. So hold this up and use a 4mm Allen and remove these 2 bolts. Again, come over to this side, get your 4mm Allen on those and remove those 2 bolts. Okay, so inside your bag there was these little rubber grommets. Now they're a little bit hard to find, but what you got to do is you got to find the circular hole inside of all these hexagons. So it's kind of like a Find Waldo, and then you're going to pop these in on the side that goes to the radiator. Okay, so that's how those are going to look once they're popped through. Use a small screwdriver just to push them through. Like what you do is you just kind of hook it on the other side and just fold it through, because it's a little bit tough to get those through there with your fingers. Okay, so looking at the top of this thing, you can see that there's some indents, recesses, and then there's only one at the bottom. It's not too hard to figure it out, even if you are looking at, you know, the E, P, like that should be readable. But if you look up here, you can see you're going to need those little indents to go that way. So the multiple indents or cutouts or whatever goes to the top. So now this will be a two-handed job, but you're going to put some blue Loctite back on these securing bolts for the fairing, and then hold this up in there and thread them in. Okay, so radiator guard, bracket, bolts. I just have those in there finger tight right now, and then I'm going to go over to the other side and start those. Okay, so I've got this side started. This side, because you're squishing it against the radiator, it's going to be tough to line up these bolts, hold this out, and get them started. Just take your time, don't cross thread them. I couldn't find a torque spec for these like side mount bolts, so just a touch past snug. If you remember when you removed them, what they felt like, it wasn't a whole lot, and I mean, you've got blue Loctite on it, so it's gonna hold. Don't be holding it down here, because that's you'll get loose in a hurry or you'll shear it off, and you're gonna have a really bad time. So just touch it down and a touch more. Same thing on the other side. So again, pull this out, snug these down. We'll call it a cunt hair past snug. That's a pretty technical term. So now we take this little push clip, pop it back in there, and then the awesome thing about these, There, that's tight. Then we're gonna put a little dab of blue on there sometime if the bottle decides to cooperate. And then we're gonna re-thread that one back in there and snug that one back down. Same deal for the other side. Pop that one in. There we go. And then a little bit of blue, you guessed it. And tighten that one up, snug it up. Okay, so just to show you a little bit of something. The reason you have to pop that down is because of this hook right here. So as you can see, the top pops out. There's a little pin there that kind of holds that there, and then this slides down. So that's why, like, sometimes after you see it, you understand how it works a little bit better. Remember to put the connector back in, and then we're gonna put that side fairing on. That's gonna be a two-piece or two-handed job. All right, so that's all popped back in and everything. Remember to reinstall those screws. Now these are, I believe the name of these is quarter turn screws. So there's no torque spec for them. So it's really just a matter of like making sure they're touched down. So yeah, those are definitely snug. So don't got to worry about this vibrating off. And we're going to repeat the same thing on this side. The connector, hook, push in. Same deal on this side. Just snug down those quarter turn bolts over here and here. And then what I like to do is make sure that the signal lights and everything still work. You know, you really didn't mess around with anything, but it's just good to double check after you've had something apart. And there you have it. You are done. It's a really simple project to do, and I think this thing is an absolute must-have for any of these Yamaha F series. The $100 you're gonna spend on this, like 120 shipped to your door, probably even cheaper in the States. It's like that radiator is probably going to be $400 if not more, and then your bike's going to be down and you're going to be stranded somewhere. So for the half hour it takes to install it, this is an absolute must-have, especially if you plan to take this bike off-road. Like, I don't mean trail riding, but even a gravel road, because a gravel rock coming up and hitting that, you're better off to dent this screen than you are to you know, dent your radiator and lower its performance. And as you can see, it's got quite a bit of open airways to it, a lot of honeycomb going on there, so the airflow won't be an issue. And yeah, I just think that this is an absolute must-have. And like, this bike has 10 miles on it, 14 kilometers basically, and so I put this on the moment I brought it home. So you know what there, guys and gals, I'm going to end this one right about here. This would pretty well be your step one in making a FJ-09 more off-road ready. Even if you plan just to daily drive the thing, I highly recommend you get one of those. It's worth it. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you on your bike run a different radiator guard and what your thoughts are on it. Make sure you go on and hit that subscribe button. I've got a ton of other how-to videos, some of them a little bit more in-depth, some of them are stupid. So thanks for taking the time and watching.